crafters! Today I'm going to make a video tutorial about the picture frame, the double-sided picture frame. Before I start in showing you how I assemble it, I want to let you know a few things. One is that the outer frame is a little bit more tiny than the inner frame, and I did that on purpose. Why, maybe you ask, is I like sometimes to attach things, and it's really, trust me, it's only maybe one or 2 millimeters, but I like to be able to attach things on the inside. And when a frame is just as wide as the inside frame, it's more difficult to hide a glue strip or something like that. So I made it a little tiny bit smaller so you can attach things to the inside of the frame and hide your glue. So that's one. The second thing I like to point out is because this is the set you will get when you buy the cutting die set. And yesterday I made a tutorial about the elegant designer bag, but I think I totally forgot to tell you guys that the tassel comes with the die, so you don't have to buy the tassel separately. If you buy the base of the die, you will get the tassel also, so you don't have to search for another tassel on AliExpress or another website. This is the set how you will be getting it. You have to cut this one out 2 times. This one 2 times. These 3 dies, so this one you have to cut out 8 times, this one 8 times, and this one 8 times. But because they all fit on one plate, you can do it 8 times and then all 3 together, and then you're done. So you don't have to do first the 8 times this and 8 times that and then 8 times that one. You can all do them in one pass. I think that's the correct way of saying it. Then I have made this die, and you will notice that there is a cross in the middle, and there is a need for that cross. In the video it will make clear why it's there, and I think it's very, very, very helpful. So I cut it out 2 times, and what I'm going to do is snip off in one of the 2. I will snip off a little tiny bit of the edge so I can put it inside of the base of the frame. And then you have 3 pieces like this, and this is one I need to tell you something about. I think you already seen what I did, because I'm sorry, this one is the biggest one. See, I'm totally messing up now. This one I need to tell you something about. It is slightly bigger than the other one, as you can see, and normally I would make those wedges inside the design. The reason I did not do that is then I was not able to put in the score line. So for me, and else they could not produce it, it was choosing between those those cutouts or the score line. So if you mind doing this, because you have to do it on both sides, so cut it perfectly towards the score line. If you mind doing this part, because this is the only thing you have to do yourself, please don't buy the die. It's as simple as that. If you don't mind, then there's no problem. And if you mind doing it, then don't buy the dies. I could not do it any different. I talked to the person who produced the dies, and we tried to do it in many different ways, but it was just not working. The score line would be have to be a little bit more inside, and then you wouldn't be able to get a perfect frame. So that's why I made the decision about cutting these triangles myself. And when you have a cut file, I know the machine can make it, but if you don't have a cut file and just a die, and you hate doing things like this, well, it's up to you. If you don't mind, then you can buy the die, and it's the only thing you have to adjust to one of the pieces, and it's the larger one. So make sure you only do it at the larger one. These two can stay the way they are. So that was what I wanted to point out. Then you need to have one paper straw like this. I just bought mine on AliExpress, and I noticed they all have the same size, so you don't have to worry about the size. But as I told you, have to cut out 8 of these and 8 of these, and just glue them on top of each other, and keep one, oh, it doesn't want to cooperate, and one separate. So you need 7 of these and 1 of these. If you want to make 8 or 10 or whatever, it's perfectly fine. You will see why and how we are going to use it. But I want to be honest about my designs and about the dies and the work you have to do, and able for you to make the frame work. Sometimes in life you don't have a choice, and then you have to pick the best option. So that's what I did. I'm going to slide over because I already made one frame in order for me to save some time. I think the best way to start this frame is with the bottom part, and I will show you how much I will take off. I didn't do that with the other box that I designed, but I will show you. I just take off a little tiny sliver, something like this, and I do that on all on all 8 sides. So that's 2, that's 3, see, that's the hard word again. That's 4, and counting is good because then you don't go around and around. That's 5, that's 6, that's 7, and that's 8. And what I do, because it doesn't matter for this one, I put a cross on the back of the one that I made a little bit smaller. Then I can throw those pieces away. And then you have 8 of these parts. And the way you put them together, because I noticed that you guys didn't mind that I had to take off all the backings. If you do mind, just fast forward the video until I'm done sticking them all together. And I think it's fun because when I have to do things like this, I have time to just chat with you guys. So every day when I wake up, I'm always looking at my comments, and oh, you guys really... My husband sometimes asks me, why are you smiling? It's 6 o'clock in the morning and I see you smile. And then I say, well, I was just reading my comments under my YouTube video, and I'm so honored that all you guys like my designs and like the fact that I do the tutorials for you. Because yes, it's a lot of work to do them and to prep them, because I don't do only the video. Of course I make the designs and thinking them out and making them fit perfectly. It's a lot of work. I don't mind doing it because I love doing it, but making a design like this, well, it can take up a whole weekend. 2 full days from 7 or 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening. So then you have an idea on how much time it will take to make every item fit perfectly. And again, I do not mind. I like doing it because I have a profession where I learned designing things like this, and I always loved my profession. And I don't know the English word for it, so I won't be bothering you with trying to explain what it is. But it's a job in metal work. So then I'm almost to the end. Then you take off the last backing. And this way you also know how long it will take to put everything together. You can see how long the video will take, and then you have an idea on how long it will take. See, and if you like, you can attach it right away to the inside. What you also can do, and that's why I made a second one, you can also glue this one inside and then glue the other one on top. I will not do this right now, so I will skip the inside part, but if you do glue on both sides of these strips, you can glue this one inside. But then you have to keep in mind that this part that we used, you have to glue on top of here, on top of the one that you cut short. So don't forget, I will skip this part, you can skip this part as well. But if you like it really sturdy and really strong, then it's something you really need to do. Then I will take my glue and put some glue on the bottom part. And the reason the cross is in the middle, so you don't have to measure. So the cross has to be in the middle of the hole. Because what we are going to do is use this part in order for your straw to stay up straight, because it will like this when we are finished. And that's why I made this part. Then you take off the backing of one piece, and then you stick it with this part inside. And trust me, if you do it on the outside, your frame will be ruined. I'm always getting frustrated when I need to take off all those backings, and I know your guys I know you all are waiting for me to continue explaining how things I always try to hurry. That's what I wanted to say. And when you can't reach with your fingers, just use some pliers. And I used this color because I wanted to make sure it shows up well in the video. And having these pliers, oh, they mean the world to me. My husband, the last day, was taking some of my tools in order to do something with them, and I was telling them, don't touch them, they are mine. And he was totally shocked. So you see, it's sturdy, but if you want to make it more sturdy, then you have to put this one inside, and then the only thing you have to keep in mind is that you don't forget to put the other part inside. And then the struggle is real. Let me show you, because now you have to take off all those really teeny tiny backings. And while I'm doing this, I'm constantly thinking, do I do this in the right order? I'm always afraid that I make a huge mistake in my videos and start all over again. But making mistakes makes us human, right? So then you have to make sure that you place it perfectly in the middle, because if you put it on the side, your straw will go on the side too. So try to do your best and place it in the middle of the frame. So like this. And then your pliers will come in handy, because of the hole that's inside, you can squeeze the glue flaps onto this part. If there was no hole, you wouldn't have this possibility, but this makes it stick. So, and then your straw will fit in. Then you have to a little bit feel where it's going. Now I have to search the hole inside of the of the frame, and I struggled with my first one. See, now it's totally standing up straight. So that was my struggle the first time, so I was afraid that it would be happening in the video too. Then I'm going to put the frames together. How do you put the tape on it? Like this. Then you fold one forward and one backward. Sorry, I need to cough. Excuse me for that. I was feeling it all the way and I thought I could postpone it, but I have a little bit of a cold. Not much, but a little bit, so forgive me. Then you take off the backings and glue this flap on the outside so you won't see it on the inside. I always try to make my designs so you can hide your glue flaps, and people always would wonder, how did she put that together in that nice way? And for me, it's an honor thing to make it as nice as possible. See, I already thought I was forgetting one side. And when you're crafting on your own and you're not making a video, you can hold it the way you want. But I want to show you how to put it together, so I have always be considerate about what my camera can and cannot see. Then you take off the backings of the flat side. And then push them a little bit backwards, and then take your frame and line this line up with the line on the bottom section of your frame. That's the best way I can explain. And then look at the sides. So I first make sure that my frame is straight, and then I'm going to line up on these edges. And I'm sorry if my big head is in a way again, but I have to make sure. I will pull it towards me a little bit, but I have to make sure that it is nicely done. And I hate it when it's crooked or not looking nice, so forgive me. So, then you do it like this. And then this piece I will take away. As I told you, this piece is for on top. I don't know if I told you, but this piece is for on top. This piece is for on the bottom. But in order for you to be able to stick your straw in a later moment of this video through this bottom and not make the bottom crack, I made these. This is just a reinforcer. What you do is just put some glue, and you don't have to put 8 on top of each other, 5 or 6 will be enough. But it's just to reinforce the hole and make sure that it will not tear. If you've done all the work by cutting it and figure out how you want to how do I say that? Dress it up, and then it goes wrong at that moment. And now I hope you see what I did. I used the straw to make sure that the holes are lining up. So it's just to reinforce the bottom part of your window frame, because the straw has to go in between the frames in a few seconds as we done this part. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I have to die cut one more, but I think you will get the point, so I won't be bothering you in waiting for me to die cut it once again, and then I can show you how it works inside. So sometimes you need to make a good thing from a bad thing. You need this one to die cut 2 times, so don't forget. I forgot, because it was a long time ago. I designed the frame, I put the frame together, so forgive me. But then you take the piece and make sure the corners line up like this, and put it as straight on there as possible. And then I think a smart thing to do is taking off this backing, put this one onto the glue flap as straight as possible, because if you do it a little bit diagonally, your frame will not close very nice. See, I have to press down my tape. And then you take off all these backings. I think you will now have an idea on how to put the frame together, but for the ones that don't, I will try to continue as fast as I can, but those tiny parts always makes me struggle. And again, if you are frustrated looking me to take off all those backings, just fast forward. That's the benefit of having the video. So then you curve it with the curve of the frame, and that's why you needed to make those cuts in. See, I'm not sticking them down, and then they will come loose, so I have to put a little bit more pressure onto them, so like this, and it will fit perfectly. I always enjoy when I make something and it fits perfectly. And then you have to do the side that is here also in here, but since you know I forgot to die cut it, I can't be perfect. I was prepping for this video and talking with my girlfriend, so now you know why I made the mistake and was not thinking clear with my head. And then you have to stick this one on here. Stick it down like this. And of course also stick the other side that I forgot onto this one. And then you can put all the glue flaps inside, also the one that's on this side, and stick this one on top of here. And then when it's all closed, and I will close it up as far as I can, so you have an idea. And if you want to be clever, after you put it onto one side, please do first the top part and then the bottom part, because the top part has all those tiny flaps and it's more easy to glue this one first and this one last, because you can always put your pliers inside and close it like this. And then, now it's the benefit that we can look inside, then you push the straw inside and you will see it fits perfectly between those two. I think this is a shorter, I think I cut this straw shorter, because normally a straw will stick out and then you can cut off the top. And what I did was, after I cut off the top, I put a little metal knob on the top side, but it can be a pearl or a flower, or you can do it however you like, as long as you keep in mind that you want it to be turnable, because that's the fun part of this frame. And then you can dress it up however you like. I hope this little bit tutorial has made it clear how to put it together and where each part goes. I wish you all a very nice day. Thank you for your patience and watching my video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.